This is Daho. He's been having some problems lately as he keeps dreaming about girls. Now, I don't blame him since he lives in a household where the rock can't help but activate Harden. But here's the thing, man, he's the dumbest 20-year-old around. Long story short, he lives with an older sister that looks like an expert at banana tree seed extraction, but they aren't blood-related as this family took him in. Anyways, the older sister is named Mia, but she looks like a prime member candidate to have some weird sussy feelings for our boy. Apparently, the two are very close to each other, so she follows him around to go get breakfast, only to get greeted by the sight of a big whopper from the mother of the house. Now the crazy thing is that the mom married a bro straight looking like a 4 out of 10, but that's the usual in all anime, as there is always a goddess ending up with some dude looking like a super nerd combined with my precious from Lord of the Rings. Regardless, I have a weird feeling about the mom, but we learn that her name is Yune, and she's actually super nice and friendly to our boy. But she do be looking like half her age, cause Asian dunt raisin. Yume is also the sole reason why both his sisters got some crazy proportions in relation to their rice cakes and pumpkins, because they all packing on purpose like my boy John Morant. Nevertheless, Yume asks Daho to go check up on his other sister, named Suwa, as it's time for breakfast and school will start soon. And like a good boy, Daho instantly runs to go get the missing link without any hesitation, while both girls are left behind in awe of his energy. Nonetheless, our boy quickly makes it up a flight of stairs and calls for Suwa to come out, but he hears no response, so he starts knocking on her door. Eventually, he decides to open the door like a true Chad without her permission, only to find Suwa still fast asleep, but for some reason, she has an invisibility potion equipped on some of her armor. As such, our boy swiftly looks away and acts like he saw literally nothing, so he begins to cough to try and get her attention as breakfast is ready to get devoured. However, she declines by saying she isn't hungry, so she turns around and covers up whilst telling Daho to never barge into her room just like that again. We then discover that Daho has an absolute hard time with Suwa all the time, so his relationship is the exact opposite compared to Mia. Regardless, our boy comes back down and tells the goddess mommy that Suwa ain't feeling breakfast today, causing the mom to get a little bit worried for her, probably because she's worried that Suwa caught the morning sickness bug. Luckily, the old man interrupts her and tells her not to worry, since he's looking a bit frustrated as he wants to eat his double quarter pounder with cheese fish fillet already. With the old man now laying down the law as it's time for him to gain a couple more pounds, everyone sits down to eat, but Mia looking a little sus by putting her hair behind her ears right beside Daho. Shortly after eating, Daho meets up with his friend named Gobon, but bro is looking like he's a side character from Goblin Slayer, so we all know things are actually about to get real. After Gobon looks around to make sure no one is nearby to hear him, he slowly leans forward and whispers by asking if our boy has ever seen a girl's sacred undies. Now ganked by his supreme sussy beka question, Daho replies by asking why would he ever ask such a thing. So Gobon pipes up and tells our boy that he has sisters too, so clearly he must have seen some legendary fishnets before. But then right before Daho could muster up an answer to his entrance exam question, Gobon leans forward again with a massive smirk while telling our boy that he has something nice to show him today. Mere seconds later, the dude actually whipped out a blue pair of you-know-what, happily revealing the secret that he stole it from his own sister, causing our boy to be absolutely dumbfounded that his friend is such a sussy baka. Suddenly, the turntables turn as Daho starts to get flustered as well, so he starts to join the Supreme Sussy Gang as Gobon allows him to feel the legendary treasure. In the end, it's revealed that Gobon is actually such a nice guy, even though he's really weird, since he ends up giving away his sister's prize belonging to his own friend, and Daho even accepts it because Gobon claims it's a gift for always being nice to him. You know what, this dude is actually an amazing friend, because if you think about it, no one has ever handed me their sister's prized belongings. Now fast forward back home where we find Daho laying on his bed, unable to sleep since the sussy within him has been awakened due to the very nice guy named Gobon. Uncharacteristically for our boy, he ends up getting up in the middle of the night and proceeds to walk to his nearby drawers, where he starts looking for something mysterious. Upon closer look, it's revealed that all this time he was searching for Gobon's sister's dragon plate skirt. So he whips it out after finding it and starts looking at it as if it was a gift from an angel. This causes his heart to start beating faster than ever before, as it looks like it's getting corrupted by the presence of mythical undie for the first time ever, so it hints to us that this dude's experience only goes as far as dating sim games. Regardless, he ends up feeling thirsty out of nowhere, so Daho decides to go to the kitchen and grab some water with his nice guy reward still in his hand. Shortly after making it to the kitchen, he begins to smash down glass of water after glass of water, but then he hears a random sound echo from the hallway. Initially, he thought he was just a little bit sleepy, but the weird sound kept persisting through the walls, so he knows he isn't going crazy. Eventually, using his mega brain, he's actually able to pinpoint the sound coming from the mom's room, So he decides to go check on her just in case something bad might be happening. As our boy ventured closer to the epicenter of what sounds like some repeated banging against a wall, Daho transforms into a ninja by going on his tiptoes and hugging the wall behind him. But he notices the door is open. With his curiosity still getting the better of him, he continues on forward by crawling as close as he could to slowly peek in, and success. He makes it without anyone noticing. However, our boy is now able to see clear as day to what's happening, where it's revealed that Mr. and Mrs. Shah are busy doing some rice cake smashing while everyone else is asleep. But then, the first thing out of Daho's mouth is, "What the heck is that?" Apparently, Bro is somehow 20 years old and he still has no idea what doing the Skrillex Bangarang means, as he's too innocent, and his mental capacity is not up to par compared to his peers like Chad Gobon. Anyways, our boy continues to watch while looking on astonished, as he's never seen such a thing in real life or on the internet, but the dad continues his siege into the walls of Yume. 30 minutes then pass while they still have no idea Daho is watching everything unfold, but it dawns on our boy that his heartbeat is beating so fast he thinks it might actually explode, but he doesn't move or do anything, as he's busy staring. Eventually, our boy's eyes start to look like his soul has been taken over as he watched Mr. Che use his battering ram to relentlessly destroy the front gates of Yune. At the same time, he starts feeling something weird around his banana tree, so breaks his gaze only to find something is making his plantation glow blue like the sky. After further investigation, he wonders why his happy meal has transformed into a full adult meal, as he's never seen it transform before, but he decides it's just a normal thing and continues on watching like it's a K-drama. Unfortunately, his heartbeat was too much for him to handle, so our boy decides to leave and head back to his room, realizing he shouldn't be staring at all. Now the crazy part is our bro didn't get caught after an hour, so you know it was some intense rice cake destroying going on. Anyways, after jumping on the bed, absolutely bewildered, our boy starts to scratch his head, wondering what kind of game they were playing, since it looked kind of fun. Eventually, he's able to piece things together and starts wondering if that's what the bad kids in school talk about all the time, so at least he's heard of rice cake smashing before. Regardless, he decides there's no point in wondering right now, since he can just ask the two lovebirds in the morning, so our boy finally goes to sleep. However, upon waking up in the morning and after dreaming about girls again, Daho discovers a massive bulge of the Titanic protruding from his ship. After taking a closing look inside his ship called the Virgin Shiplines, he learns that he accidentally exploded again, so he needs to hurry up and get to the laundry basket before anyone sees him. Now imagine being a 20-year-old and still not doing your own laundry, since that's basically our boy Daho. But then again, I shouldn't expect much, as this dude doesn't even know what rice cake smashing is. Elsewhere, Mia gangs her own mom after coming down the stairs, where she claims she could not help herself but smack and shake the fresh buns of her own mom, but that's pretty normal. Mere seconds later, Daho appears already looking flustered and out of his usual self. But the first thing he asks is, where's the big daddy? Oh. He then finds out that the dad is missing, as he left early for a business trip, so lucky for our boy, it won't be that awkward with only Yune around. After breakfast, Daho decides not to go through with his plan of asking Yune what they were doing last night, but instead, Yune finds out what happened to our boy while he was sleeping. She even goes as far as using her primal instincts to make sure what she's smelling and seeing is correct, and indeed they were. It is confirmed as Daho's special water. As such, Yune washes up all the laundry, but it dawns on her that she needs to teach Daho how to become a true man, as no one got to tell him what to do since he's an orphan. Originally, Yune was planning to get a friend to teach him, but since his only friend is Gobon, she decides she will instead go next. Speaking of Gobon, Bro is such a savage, as he asks our boy if he needs a new pretty pair, since he tells Daho he can get him a new pair anytime he wants, as he always steals them. However, Daho continues on the topic and randomly asks if Gobong knows what rice cake smashing is, causing Gobong to get absolutely flustered to the point he actually yells out the sussy word out loud. Unfortunately, Gobong is also aloof to this type of Chad gameplay, so the only thing he says is that's what the bad kids do. But since they aren't bad kids at all, Gobong tells him they shouldn't ever do such a thing. As such, he heads back home after spending the rest of the day with his special friend, but he beelines straight to his room. Suddenly, his door slowly opens and out comes Miss Yuna, looking like some prime piece of juicy Jollibee chicken ready to be served. But she brings along with her some cut-up pieces of apples. With the dad not home, she quickly closes the door behind her and tells our boy that it's time for them to have a chat together. So she goes and sits down on his bed beside him. With the atmosphere filled with awkwardness, Yuna decides to make it even more awkward, as the first thing she asks Daho is if Bro has ever exploded his own banana tree before. Now, Yuna questioning her stepson's sussy things isn't what caught me off guard. Instead, it's the fact that Daho blindsides me by claiming he has no idea what blowing up your machine is. Regardless, with Davo having zero clue on how to clear his own banana seeds himself, Yuna being a nice mom says she'll go ahead and teach him how to do it as Gobong is no help, and the dad isn't here to help. As such, Yuna tells our boy that all adults must do it or else their laundry will get stinky. So Daeho decides to accept the offer after finding out Mr. Cha does it as well. So to start off the lesson, she tells our boy to go ahead and think about any girls he likes or is super fond of. However, the catch is that the girl he's super fond of right now is the one sitting right beside him. Nevertheless, she continues the lesson by charging forward and tells Daeho the leg armor must be disarmed fully, and upon finding his hidden weapon, Yuna realizes that bro has been hiding Little Italy all along. But since it's Mother's Day and she's the best mom ever, she tells herself that no behemoth can stop her from teaching her beloved stepson what to do, so she starts attacking like a hyena looking for some food. Luckily for our boy, her relentless attacks featuring her hands were not sufficient enough to simmer down the behemoth before her. So she decides to use backup plan number 2 to show him how it's done. Now clearly you can't drink your own Slurpee, as it's literally impossible unless you're actually Elastic Man, so she decides to hire the mouth of Yune to do the trick. This time, with the help of the mercenary called the Mouth, she's able to succeed in relieving the banana tree plantation, so our boy will no longer have a problem with his laundry. The story continues with the Sussy Nation spear headed by Yune successfully completing their mission, but Swa coincidentally passes by Daeho's room, causing her to smell something fruity and unusual. As such, she pauses for a moment and wonders if he got a new air freshener, but then she started hearing Yuna mumbling something to our boy. At the same time, our boy springs up from his bed, not realizing he's evolved into a man now, unsure of what just splurted out of his banana tree plantation, but at least his aim was perfect. It then turns out that he quickly rushed over to grab some tissues to help out Miss Cha, as he didn't even know his cannon was loaded, so he apologizes profusely. Clearly, it wasn't our boy's fault though, as this 20-year-old Chad still has no idea what happened, but Yone simply smiles and informs him that he did very well in their exercise. She then says the words some of you have been waiting all your life for by saying she's proud of him, causing our boy to be utterly shocked or relieved at the same time, as he didn't want to sour soup their relationship. Regardless, a blushing sussy Yuna cuts to the chase and alerts our boy that they have finally blew his machine for the first time ever in his life, so to make sure he never has a problem with his laundry again, he needs to do it regularly by himself now. Upon hearing that he has to do the very family-friendly activity by himself now, he gets sad, but he gets consoled by Yume, where she attempts to hype himself up. She also continues by telling him that he needs to keep it a secret and to not tell anyone if he's a good boy, and if he can successfully activate Shush mode, then she will buy him any Valorant or Roblox skin of his wishes. Upon hearing that Yune wants to buy any skin of his dreams, he instantly accepts the offer as he wants to look cool for his online friends. In the end, Miss Cha thanks Daho for the lovely evening and proceeds to exit the room, since she's officially entered the same realm as the sussy mommy who's helped out his son with no arms on Reddit. After leaving his room, Swa is nowhere to be found, so she continues heading down to her room with her head held down, as she can't fathom how Daho is so innocent at his age, and there's the fact that bro barely got any friends. Nonetheless, Miss Che gets ready for bed, but her large hoppers inside the dump truck can be heard squeaking from a mile away, unable to believe Daho was hiding the largest chalupa supreme she's ever seen. Fast forward to the next morning, get greeted by Mia finding out from her mom that her dad is going to be missing for today, so it sounds like the sus flag is about to rise up. Nonetheless, our boy walks into the kitchen to grab some breakfast as well, but as soon as he enters and says good morning, Yune turns around and gets flustered. She then tells herself how awkward she feels, so it looks like Daho got that unspoken and innocent riz. After eating breakfast of champions, bro heads over to his room to lay down and think about last night, but then he remembered how he caught Mr. and Miss Cha in action. He then wonders what they were doing, as what Miss Cha did with him last night was totally different. Suddenly, it occurred to him that those two were probably doing the forbidden body-bending jutsu that only bad kids do, but once realizing it, his Geodude activated Rock Slide. But since he knows what to do now to relieve his mathematical problem, he cracks open the door to Miss Cha. Upon entering her room with no Mr. Cha around, Daho starts trembling and informs her that he doesn't know what to do, as he tried to activate his rocket ship for 1 second to no avail. Luckily for him though, Yune orders him to lay down and tells him that it's okay, as the best parent is ready to solve his problems for him, so calls upon her Slurpee powers. And within mere seconds, the third leg, the banana tree plantation of Daeho, gets ravaged by Yune's specialized skills, as she's a veteran in this field with more than 69 years of experience. However, it's revealed that Daeho is somehow some kind of gifted monster, as bro held his own throughout the entire ordeal. So Yune stops and realizes she needs to level up. As such, she activates her invisible top powers and shows off her fresh glazed donuts, causing our boy to be totally confused, but he likes what he's seeing. The sussy turntables then turn even more as Chef Yuna questions Daeho about her fresh glazed donuts from Krispy Kreme, asking him if he would like to feel the texture fresh out of the oven. Initially, Bro hesitates as he can't believe his luck this week. First he fixed his laundry issue, then he got free skins, and now he gets his first ever experience with chocolate pillows. So of course he takes upon the new offer and proceeds to gank the mountains in front of him, but Yune is having second thoughts. Clearly actions speak louder than words as Yune allows everything to head to the next level up, so she allows our boy to continue on with his turn, acting as if everything is totally normal in this household. Of course, Daeho is now too busy attempting to play Legos all night long as he kept tinkering with the available playground in front of him as if he's hit the jackpot. Eventually, Yune orders him to lay down to avoid cover fire, and so he does so, but Mischa levels up the playing field by pulling him close and tugging upon his rope. Furthermore, as she plays tug-of-war with him, Yuna pulls out a secret move by staring directly into his soul like she's some kind of demon queen from those reincarnated anime. Regardless, her flawless plan comes to fruition as Daeho could not hold back his horse from charging forward to the finish line. So he ends up showering his target with nutritious whey protein. With the intense and close race now finished, Daeho heads back to sleep as everything is now complete on his end, but Mischief takes a moment to clean up the battle arena and thinks to herself that it all should be fine now. However, just as she was about to get ready to go to sleep again, Daeho comes barging back into her room, totally exhausted and out of breath. It then turns out that the reason why he rushed over here again is because he can't sleep due to a second cameo of The Rock bothering him, as he's back like Batman as he needs Robin's assistance to complete his new mission. Of course, like a true loving and good-natured Robin, she can't refuse anyone in her household needing help, so she quickly goes to work as it hurts her soul whenever someone is hurting inside. This time, however, no matter how hard Yune tries to explode the volcano, Bro's colossal titan refuses to cool down or be defeated, so she whispers to him and asks if there's anything else he would like to try. Upon hearing her very nice and suggestive question, his face lights up instantly as he can't believe what he's hearing, as Bro is now entering no man's land. Unfortunately, just as I thought things were about to exceed Daeho's expectations, this boy lets us all down by claiming that he just wants to taste the top of the mountain using his brand new powerful licky tongue he caught in the wild. As such, Bro relentlessly tasted all types of candy from Yune, causing some very loud and weird sounds to emanate from the bottom floor of their house. Luckily for these two though, Mia is still fast asleep at the top floor with no care in the world as she's a deep sleeper like me. Eventually, things escalate like the district principal showing up in your hallway as Yuna has had enough with Bro trying to get some milk. Instead, she allows his banana tree to rest alongside her front gates. However, Yune is having second thoughts again as she knows she's entered the pervy sage land of no return. But again, she says nothing and allows everything to unfold before her. Eventually though, right before she thought she was about to lose it all, a warm, steady stream of fruity juice randomly said hello to her from behind. So now she gets saved by the bell as Daeho has finally finished his couch to 5K marathon. So she rolls over and tells him to keep it a secret, to which he happily obliges. Fast forward the next morning, we find Yuna hanging up some clothes to dry, but she looks like she has a lot on her mind, all thanks to the behemoth she had been nurturing the past week. Afterwards, Yuni spends the entire day cleaning up the house until everyone was back from their school day, where Mia was nice enough to cook them dinner. Miss Chad then heads over to her designated seat in the dining room, but as she sits down, she sighs and thinks about how much more her back hurts than usual. Of course, she wasn't busy carrying her trash teammates during ranked. Instead, she was the one getting carried without Mr. Cha around. Regardless, after hearing that Mr. Cha is still going to be missing until tomorrow, both Yune and our boy make awkward eye contact where they instantly looked away. So now the seed is set for another attack from the Sussy Nation this evening, where even Yune is unable to sleep due to her very questionable actions the past few days. But then, just as she was busy thinking about how she hoped Daeho was sleeping well tonight, fate decided to intervene as her door slowly opened with a mysterious man slowly creeping in. Luckily though, this wasn't a scary movie, so the mysterious person behind the door was obviously none other than our boy, looking like he again has a serious math problem to be solved. So now we all know what's going to happen, as this has been on repeat multiple times the past few days, but tonight seems like something feels different about the air. Hours then pass by as it's now 4 o'clock in the morning. But there's a problem. Daeho still has not gone back to his room. And just as I suspected, things escalated to the point where Daeho began playing Osu on max difficulty from down under the sea, but I thought Bro was super innocent. Nevertheless, his expert Osu skills led to the first defeat of the dragon in front of him, as our boy was able to vanquish his opponent with his brand new tactics. Fast forward to the next morning, it's revealed that Mr. Cha has finally arrived home and he's brought a lot of gifts with him for everyone in the family. Upon smelling the scent of chocolates within the house, Mia appears out of nowhere like a ninja and snatches a box of chocolates before heading back straight into her room. Davo then shows up to the living room, but he's not his usual self as he completely ignores both Mr. and Miss Cha, causing Mr. Cha to get worried for him. Regardless, Bro says nothing, so he decides to head back up to his room where Mia is coincidentally walking through the shared hallway at the same time, looking like she had the fastest shower of all time without using any water. Nonetheless, Daho catches Mia right before she disappears into her room, but he just stares at her and says nothing. Eventually, Bro slices the silence away from the air by opening up his mouth to finally speak, where she calls upon Mia. Our boy then gets flustered and looks down before asking Mia if she could help him out with something, as he's having a tremendous hard time ever since Mr. Cha arrived home. Luckily for him though, Mia has some time to kill right now, so before Daho could finish explaining his math problem, she orders him to go inside her room to talk more about it. And so he follows Mia into her room, where she tells him to sit as she browses King anime recaps on YouTube whilst waiting for Daho to spill the beans. Eventually, Daho drops the bomb by straight up asking Mia if she could help his machine be unclogged, causing her to be absolutely dumbfounded as she just can't believe her ears. Elsewhere, down in the kitchen, whilst Daho activates his sussy jutsu in Mia's room, we find Yume looking a little bit sad and worried, knowing that our boy would never visit her at night anymore with Mr. Cha back. She then tries her best to stop thinking about her sussy actions with him, so to busy her mind with other things, she disappointedly tends to her husband with some fresh honey tea. Anyways, back to the real action upstairs. Mia blushes after hearing Daho's request, but she thinks it's just a prank, bro, so she shrugs it off and plays it cool. However, Daho is actually super sincere with his request, so he starts explaining to her in extreme detail about his problems, and right now, he's stuck in a hard spot. Surprisingly though, the sussy turntables turn as Mia agrees to his request of our boy wanting Mia to lay down, because that's all he needs right now. As such, the new arc begins as Daho springs into actions, all thanks to Mia accepting his wild request, due to her being the best sister ever. After springing into action like spring onions, the sussy baker's salami begins glowing while Mia hops on her phone while waiting for Bro to complete his mission. Of course, without any hesitation, Daho starts playing Guitar Hero on expert difficulty, especially since he can see into Mia's secret fire pit as it doesn't have any protection, so it's for sure windy down there. Regardless, Mia begins furiously tapping on her screen to distract her from what's actually happening, but she starts thinking that this is all Gobong's fault. Suddenly, just a few seconds into Daho going bangarang like my boy Skrillex, Bro ends up grabbing a handful of the prime pancakes in front of him, catching Mia by surprise. However, the true severity of the Fire Nation overtaking this family can be clearly seen when Mia allows the entire ordeal to happen, even with the sussy turntables turning even more than she suspected. Eventually, Mia loses the power level battle when Daho decides to attack the fresh papaya in front of him, causing Mia to finally turn around and ask what the heck Bro is doing. Unfortunately, turning around was a giant mistake for Mia, since she ended up witnessing the surprise dragon Daho has awakened, causing her to quickly look away. After questioning Daho on why he has no armor equipped during battle, Bro makes a good point by saying how could he use his sword with him on, so Mia falls on the bed, utterly defeated, and urges Daho to hurry up as she can't believe what's happening. No worries for Daho though, as her wish is his command, but on the other hand, Mia's heart starts to beat really fast, faster than someone doing a 1 versus 1 clutch. But just as when Mia could not imagine the situation could get any worse, Daho ends up summoning his rock-hard Geodude to place the Italian salami right alongside her seasoned crackers, causing her dam to leak like a waterfall. Now, I didn't know Daho had this in him, but he levels up the experience he had with Yune before by proceeding to go on a scenic bike ride with Mia, and the rest was just history. But during the bike ride of the century for Daho, we start hearing loud sounds come from the top floor, so it's a good thing everyone else is a deep sleeper in the house. Nevertheless, Mia trembles from the earthquake slamming in, but this is actually super okay, right guys? Since Mia is technically from the water tribe, while this demon of a boy is secretly an overpowered bloodbender. Fast forward to the end of the battle, where Daho vigorously used his banana fruit non-stop, Bro ends up exploding, causing Mia to scold him, where she explains what the heck just happened. Upon learning that he wasn't just prepping his banana to be ripe, but he accidentally placed ranch deep inside her hidden valley, Daho freaks out as he never intended to do so, as he thought only bad people do that. His reaction causes her to call him stupid while fully face-palming, and to be fair, he really do be stupid, as there is no dumber anime character around, but maybe he's actually genius. Regardless, Mia kicks him out her room even though she should have done that from the beginning, so Daeho runs back to his room totally upset that he didn't know he was clapping when he just wanted to do what Yuna told him to do. As such, Bro started sulking in his pillow as he always wanted to save his special experience when he gets married, but now it's all over and the only thing he can do is join the Sussy Beka gang. After hitting the subscribe button and joining the elite gang, Bro lifts his face from his pillow as it sinks into his realization that he might have to marry Mia-chan now that he used his banana tree plantation effectively. Nevertheless, he doesn't really regret using the jumbo pickle since it actually felt pretty nice, and it's something he never really expected to happen. Fast forward to the next morning, Yuna yells out that breakfast is ready, but we can see that her apron is barely able to handle the beasts she's carrying. And so Daeho walks out of his room only for him to accidentally run into Mia at the same time, causing the atmosphere to be intense as silence fills the hallway. Ultimately, Daeho succumbs to the pressure of the awkwardness, so he tries to first run downstairs, only for him to get kapowed by a quick 1-2 from Mia. She then gets the last laugh compared to last night, so this time she wins her duel as she finally got to clap back this time, but I can already tell things are about to escalate even more. Nonetheless, after using her animic powers to leave a nice bruise on Daeho's head, she heads down while teasing Daeho to hurry up or else no food will be left for him. However, he stands watch by the balcony as Bro still doesn't know what to do or if he's already in the clear for what happened last night, so he's hoping for the best. Luckily, today was a school day, so he got to avoid Mia the entire day, so nightfall quickly approached pretty uneventful. I spoke too soon though, since the first thing Daeho does upon arriving home is to quickly rush up the stairs to visit Mia's room. Upon opening a slight crack through the door, he catches Mia in the middle of doing some hot yoga looking like she's ready to get the back crack. Mere seconds later, she finally realizes that Bro is watching, so when he finally got her attention, he instantly asks permission to come in. Now who wouldn't have expected that she would eagerly accept Daeho into her room after what transpired last night, but I can't blame her since he's rocking King anime merch. After hearing Mia accept his entry, Bro quickly locks in the duelist role and jet dashes towards her bed, where the first thing he asks if he could play tug of war with her again. This catches Mia off guard, but not me, so she stays speechless for a couple seconds, but the blush on her isn't doing her any favor as we know she really is a supreme sussy baka. She then continues to stay quiet as she tries to do the hizzy around his question, but nothing vocal comes out due to her feeling her heart beating fast like a hyena. Meanwhile, in the other room between them, Sister Suwa has finally finished completing a school assignment, so she gets up from her desk and decides to leave her room for a quick break. She then takes a moment to stop outside Daeho's room since she thinks it's awfully quiet tonight, but she ends up paying no attention to it and continues down to the kitchen. Now Suwa is a savage for being loud as heck in the middle of the night, causing Yune to see where all the commotion is coming from, only for her to witness Suwa's typical American habits. No wonder she got extra large McDonald's patties on her, since it looks like all her food is going straight there, almost like she's from Brazil. Nevertheless, Yune leaves Suwa alone to do her thing like a great mom. But she ends up stopping by the stairs to the bedroom as she wonders what Daeho is up to after teaching him how to be part of the sussy Fire Nation. Now back inside Mia's room, it looks like she's ripping him a new one as she can't fathom how Daeho has the gall to ask her for a round 2, even if they aren't waterbender related. Regardless, I know Bro is secretly a genius since he makes an excuse that the only reason he's asking if they can go on another bike ride is because he might be the father of a mini Daeho soon, so why not go on an all-out attack again? After hearing how Daeho thinks doing a banana seed extraction is bad, and learning of his argument, Mia decides to slowly activate his nether dragon by inching closer to him like 1-inch ash. But like a great sister, Mia reveals to him that a man using a battering ram to destroy any female gates is totally okay and normal, and that literally everyone else does it, causing Daeho to question if his entire life was really a lie. With Daeho now having a crisis all thanks to Gowon, Mia decides to help him enter enlightenment by removing all the useless armor protecting her as she's ready to rumble. Elsewhere, Suwa is busy devouring some homemade bacon and egg sandwiches, but this looks like the author is foreshadowing her expertise as she's munching on them by fitting it in very peculiar angles. Regardless, back to the real action, Mia gets shocked at the size of Daeho's secret behemoth after finally seeing it face to face, so she continues to order him to remove the rest of his plate armor. The turntables then turn again, since this time, Suwa takes command of his post and begins riding his horse on the battleground to show him how it's done. Now I am so amazed that no one can hear these two since it's basically louder than someone yelling on proximity chat, but these guys need to be careful as Suwa is about to return back to her room. Nevertheless, Daeho is not the only one getting his mind blown as Mia cannot stop her actions even by a single bit, due to her station getting absolutely rocked like never before. At this point, holy water is not enough for this family, since what they actually need is holy fire to fight back against the sussy nation overtaking and ruling them. In the end, Daiho's ripe banana explodes, giving her a fresh banana milkshake, so now it's the cue for him to leave the room. Upon leaving the room and closing the door, Bro starts to sweat after seeing Sua's door is open, so he sneaks back while remembering that he promised not to tell anyone what happened. Unfortunately for him though, just as he thought the coast was clear, Sua ganks him from behind, causing him to start suspiciously defending himself as to why he's coming out of Mia's room. However, Sua is still as cold as ever, so she just orders him to move out of his way whilst telling him that she doesn't care at all, relieving Daiho of some stress. Bro then collapses to the ground after Sua slams the door behind her, still not capable of believing what's happening, and super happy at the same time he got to dip his taco. With the very eventful night ending, the sun rises up, and I wouldn't be surprised if his banana tree plantation did as well. Nonetheless, Mia is the last one to leave their room, but she looks super tired and frustrated because she couldn't sleep after what happened last night. She even woke up before Sua, who's always late to school since she always sleeps through the morning, but today is totally different. A hearty breakfast is then served, so everyone goes to town except Sua, since she keeps sneaking glances at Daiho thinking that he's the only one that can help her sussy problem. And while trying to eat some nice fluffy Asian rice, she seems shaken to her core when she thinks to herself that she can't believe she's now craving the jumbo Costco hot dog no mustard from Daiho. Nevertheless, everyone finishes up their meals, so they start leaving to do their thing one by one, including Sua, whose shorts look like they are about to burst from the plump bakery it's holding in. With Sua now out and her dad already taking the car to go to work, Mia looks like she's up to no good as she watches both of them leave, looking like she's got something planned. But her plan will only work if she can somehow convince Yune to leave the house, so she tries her hardest to make up an excuse as to why her mom needs to go buy fruits so she has time alone with Daiho. Success. Her plan works as she somehow convinces Yune to go buy some T-bone steak for the family, but we all know she's trying to T-bone something else. Now with everyone gone except her true target, she instantly swaps into a dress looking like she's about to Hiroshima Daiho's town. But much to her dismay, just as she was about to knock on Daiho's door, Bro came flying out looking like he's named Ash, and he's ready to catch them all. It turns out that Mia's target has other plans for today, where Daiho tells her that he's going out to play with the infamous Gobon. It was at this very moment she knew she screwed up, as Daiho was about to leave for Gobon, meaning she won't get Gobange tonight. As such, Daiho got on his red bike and sped off to meet up with his true bro, leaving Mia totally frustrated, but at least he mentioned he thought Mia looked fire today. With her looking more fire than the Fire Nation, Bro keeps getting flashbacks of Mia's pyramids of Giza, making him constantly slow down to stop. And every time he stops, he's forced to look down at his shorts to make sure his cannon didn't burst out from the seams, so Bro begins to wonder what the heck is going on, especially with his heart beating abnormally fast. Meanwhile, back at home, Mia got all dressed up for nothing, so she's stuck sulking in her bed since she didn't get to fulfill her sussy plan of attack today. Eventually, with an hour passing by, she stops sulking, but there's nothing to do with no one else home, and now that her plans are ruined, she decides to take a nap to fast forward time. However, Mia's sleep gets interrupted when someone unexpectedly slams open her door, catching Mia totally by surprise, but my sussy senses are already tingling when I notice she's looking flustered instead of scared. Turns out it's the reincarnation of Ash Ketchum himself, Mr. Stepbro Daiho, interrupting her sleep, so this absolute Chad tells her that it's now time for them to play. Upon hearing the magical words of wanting to play, Mia quickly grins since she knows what's coming up next, and spoiler alert, it doesn't have anything to do with Legos. As such, innocent Daiho closes the door behind him while his Prince Behemoth almost rips through his pants, causing Mia to stare at them like it's free Milona ice cream. Sorry boys, we actually got bamboozled since the two ended up playing some board games and now they are stuck playing Jenga inside her room. Luckily, Mia loses on purpose, allowing her to summon the sussy Fire Nation within her by telling Daiho that he can make her do anything he wants since she lost this time. But before Daiho could mutter a word, she interrupts him when he opens his mouth, so she proceeds to make it clear that whatever it is, it must be something they can do only inside her room. Upon hearing her request, Bro gets a little bit disappointed since he was super eager to play some Smash Bros with her in the living room, so instead, he takes a moment to really think about it. With silence now filling the air as Daiho thinks of something, we discover that Mia is dying for some rice cake smashing, so she's really hoping that Daiho would get the hint, but she's forgetting that this dude has an IQ level lower than room temperature. After 1 minute, Mia's wish finally gets granted when Daiho reveals that since he's an adult now, he's been using Google to search things up, so he wants to try what the internet calls a kiss. And since we all know how Mia is, she acts like she's just doing this as a favor to him. so she scolds him a little bit before trying to do her best Hollywood actress impression to make it seem like she's totally appalled by his request. To make it more believable, and so that Daeho doesn't catch on that she's a supreme sussy Becca, she begins talking about how there's no way they can do it since they aren't from Alabama. And this family should never be a Roll Tide baby. Regardless, after getting scolded and humiliated by Mia, Daeho apologizes for suggesting to kiss since he didn't know family members were forbidden to do that outside Alabama. However, Mia literally has a bigger brain than her G-Yats, so now that Daeho activated her trap card, she heads straight to her bed while asking Daeho if there's something else he wants to do because she will literally grant anything else. Bro is then left speechless when Mia pesters him again while on her bed, but this time this sussy master accidentally flashes her Captain Underpants at him at the same time. Finally, it looks like Smarty Pants Daeho has put 2 and 3 together to equal 69 thanks to her hints, so Bro bravely gets up and takes a massive gulp to drop a bomb. And after getting rid of any hesitation, Bro yells out that he wants to rice cake smash with her, so luckily there's no one else at home that can hear this menace to society talk. Upon hearing Daeho yell the magic words, Mia flashes a smile since she's been waiting long enough all day, so it's now time for her to get ready for some direct hard hits landing on her spaceship. Mere seconds later, stepsis Mia rips everything off looking like she's in a hurry to receive some rice cake, causing Daeho from behind to grow the largest banana tree ever. Lucky Daeho then quickly joins her and tries to be the pilot of her spaceship, so when he got permission to land his banana tree inside her ship, Bro perfectly parted Mia's legs like he was Moses and he's trying to cross the Red Sea. However, this time with Daeho's cannons already loaded and ready to go, he decided to do some side quests first while Mia finally realized she really is a supreme sussy Baka. Nevertheless, Daeho was able to complete some side missions like playing around with Mia's twin pyramids of Giza, while using his bare hands causing her to go more crazy than a redhead. He even decided to visit 7-Eleven to drink some Slurpees for the first time ever, but Daeho was hoping to taste some milk, but all he got instead was Mia scaring off the birds due to how loud she's getting. Eventually, an annoyed Mia reminds him to not forget about his main questline, due to her spaceship still throbbing without Daeho using his banana tree plantation to fix her problem by sending it in. Luckily for her though, Daeho is a very nice and obedient brother, so he instantly stops doing side missions and proceeds to get ready for his attack helicopter to be sent into battle. With Daeho now strapped on like a true soldier, he efficiently attacks and plows Mia's field with utmost force, causing her to almost lose vision due to how intense his breach and entry was. On Daeho's third rocket booster thrust, Mia almost passes out while she was busy thinking how the heck his banana tree plantation grew so much compared to the night before, so she finds herself in a pickle. Less than a minute into their 1 versus 1 culture duel, Mia taps out like she's the Triple H and orders Daeho to stop, causing him to quickly pull out of her trenches as fast as possible, unsure of what he did wrong. She then has to do the penguin waddle to get up halfway due to the intense shockwaves earlier. Then she tells him to stop being a savage and to be more gentle, because the battering ram is way too large for her city. After accepting her new terms of service, they go back to spicy rice cake smashing, and let's just say it looks like Mia will be penguin waddling all week at this rate. Nonetheless, Mia looks like she's about to transcend reality thanks to the pervy sage, but her conscience is stopping her from reincarnating, unable to fathom that the best hot dog she's ever received her entire life is coming from Daeho. Now, with Mia having to battle with her inner self, she's unable to stop memories of Daeho infiltrating her mind, so she starts having flashbacks of her always being there for him when he needed it. For most of her life, she treated him like a real brother, and even though they aren't blood-related, they always spent time together like eating and playing video games every day. But never in her mind did she ever think that she would spend time doing some rice cake smashing with him, but for better or worse, she's been enjoying every single moment. Now the funny part is that Mia strictly draws the line at never allowing Daeho to go for the kiss, but it totally makes sense to allow him to kiss her spaceship instead. However, the sussy turntables turn when Daeho is unable to control his demonic urges thanks to all the blood stuck in his rocket boosters destroying her spaceship, so he ends up going for it anyways. She then waits till Daeho pulls away before she scolds him, telling him to never do it again because you should only do that when he's found someone he really likes. Upon hearing her perfect reasoning, he rizzes her up and informs her that it's totally fine because he do be liking her a lot in more ways than one. And just like that, Bro scores more goals than Wayne Gretzky in seconds, so he continues using his dragon to destroy her sheep over and over again while also learning how the French do it. In the end, Daeho is unable to control his power level from climbing even higher, so he ends up key blasting everything he's been holding in today straight into her time chamber, causing it to flood and overflow like Venice during rain season. However, at the same time, trouble is brewing as we discover that Yuna has arrived home and she heard some weird rumbling upstairs, so she yells out if anyone is home. With no response back, she heads on upstairs since she was super sure she heard something from one of the bedrooms, and she needs someone to help her cut some onions since dinner time is coming up soon. As she goes to check which room the sound is coming from, she hears something fall off a bed inside Mia's room, so she goes to knock on her door to ask her for help. Now caught in a pickle again, Mia panics since she knows she's about to get banished into another world if she opens the door, so she yells out "Mommy" while telling her not to open the door. But this is the first time Mia has ever sounded like she's more sus than Gojo, causing Yuna to get shocked and wonder what the heck is going on, so she comes to the conclusion that she might have an unexpected boy visitor from school. Unfortunately for both of them, Mia yells out that she's currently playing with her own toys for the first time, so that's why she shouldn't come in, making Yuna gasp for air. After hearing that her daughter is busy doing some alone time, Yuna yells back that she's sorry while looking like she absolutely regrets the decision of coming back early. Although Mia's plan worked in getting her mom to run away as fast as possible, she facepalms and hides behind her hands, totally embarrassed that she just outed herself in front of her mom.